My name is Shibani. Welcome back to my channel. We talk about books and we talk about art on this channel. Today is part 2 of my art supplies video. If you've seen the first part before, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? Go watch the first video, the first part of the art supplies that I absolutely cannot live without. And then come back here because today we're talking about tools that I love. So in the first part, we talked about paints that I love, mediums that I love, and also surfaces that I love. In this part, I'm going to be telling you about all of the tools that I love using while I'm painting. So let's go. So one quick note, just an elephant in the room for those who have been here for a while. You've seen that this has gone from the Curly Bookworm to Atelier Shibani. The name has changed. I mean, it's kind of an event. Okay, so let's talk about it real quick. If you haven't been here for a while and you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, please skip this part and go to the next part. The reason why the name change has happened is because I have this new company that I have formed called Atelier Shibani, which is an art label for all of the art that I make. Now, if you don't know the history of what I did before and what I do now and the fact that I'm an artist and all of that good stuff, I don't know why you don't know if you've been here, but if you don't know, I'm going to link the video somewhere here. Please just watch it. It is sort of the context to the fact that I became an artist a year ago and all of that history. So given all of that context, the reason why I changed the name of this channel is because I want to do more with this channel than just talk about books and reading. Plus, it's the name of my art label, which I really love. And so while it was a little bit painful, not gonna lie, to change and give up the Curly Bookworm, I'm still the Curly Bookworm on Instagram, but here I've been the Curly Bookworm for years and years, and I had to give that up and become Atelier Shibani, which is, I guess I am already Atelier Shibani. It's my art label. Anyway, whatever. The point is that I'm very happy to be doing this because it gives me a larger canvas to do whatever I want to do that is artistic and creative, because atelier in French means studio or workshop, and that is basically just a free pass to do everything that's creative and workshop-y and all of that good stuff. And so yeah, that is the context. Don't worry if you've been here for a while and you're here to watch my book videos. They are not going anywhere. They're going to be right here. I'm going to keep coming here to talk about books, but I'm also going to be talking about art, which hopefully you enjoy. If you don't, then just watch the book videos. Thanks for being with me on this journey so far. Let's go and watch the actual art supply video now. Oh, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. Please share this video, like this video, and all of that good stuff. Let's go. Okay, so let's talk about paint brushes to begin with. These are usually the ones that I use on canvas. I don't necessarily look for a brand. Like, this is a brand new one. I bought it mostly for the shape of it. I don't know if you can tell what the shape is like. I have many brushes like this. I like that it's not fully like pointy. It's kind of blunt pointy. And then there is this one, which is our new favorite. This in fact is a good brand. It was expensive. This one is from Liquitex. I bought it because I just love how it holds paint. The bristles are really rough. They're not very like smooth, so I super like it. Let me see if I can show you. Can you see how much color it holds? And I just really like how even everything is, but also if you don't sort of load it with wet paint, like really wet paint, like watered down paint, it actually comes off a little bit more textured. So you see that? You see the marks here? I really like that. So this is a Liquitex freestyle brush. Really like it. This one is also a really great brush. I love how this makes marks too. You see that? It's so uneven and rough and beautiful. I just love that. I love that. I love that it's not pointy, but also gives me all these lovely marks. And I just love making marks, I love getting different kinds of marks when I'm painting. So I have a bunch of these fan brushes. Is that what it's called? I'm not someone that went to art school, so I don't have the right language for this. I'm just going to tell you what I really like, because when I go to the paint store, I just look around and I see what can give me different textures, different shapes, different marks. This does. I love the mark that flat brushes can give you. I mean, as you can imagine, it's like that. Well, let me show it to you here actually. It's like that. But there's also this really cool swishy, it looks like wind. So I love those little marks that it makes as well. Another cool one that I want to show you is this really bent out of shape one. I did not buy this anywhere, in fact. This was in my dad's collection, so I kind of stole it, you could say. I really like it, and it lets me make these like cool marks like that. And if I want to fan it out, if I want to drag stuff out like that, just love it. Super love this brush. You know, I wouldn't be shocked if he actually made this and he didn't get it like this, because this is something called Sugam, which I think is a fairly local brand for India. So I wouldn't be shocked if he actually created this. He is not around anymore, so I can't ask him, but he is completely capable of doing really cool stuff like this. So yeah, one of my absolute favorite brushes, obviously because it was his. I am going to treasure it for life. Some of the other brushes that I want to talk about that are fairly common really are these ones. It's great for just straight lines, both of these. I use them for both gessoing and also for painting. Really love these. I just like the flatness of this brush. I like the fullness of this flat brush. So yeah. Now there's this one. This is it's called Keep Smiling. I mean, it's clearly not a brand at all, but it's a very interesting, very rough textured brush. You see that? So cool, so interesting. This is another very old brush that I use. Again, a Sugam 12. It's called Superfine. I just like it for, it's a basic, you know, flat brush. This is a brush that I think I may have ruined because I did not clean it on time. So don't be like me, children. Do a better job of preserving your brushes. I might have to go and buy a new one. It's called Artesia Professional Brush 75mm if anybody's interested. But it's a great brush for holding a lot of paint that will go through on your canvas. I use mostly acrylic and gouache, and this is great for that. This massive fellow, massive. This has been gotten from a hardware store. Completely brandless, nameless, but as you can see, this is great for when I'm working on really big canvases. Kind of really helps me with laying that paint through, and if I want to kind of get a texture, then this is good for that too. The last brush that I want to talk to you about is this one. This is a watercolor brush, and you fill it in here and then you sort of use it while you're painting, which is really handy, especially when you're traveling. I'm sure you know about this brush, it's not very uncommon. But yeah, this is quite nice, but I don't use it very often because it's a watercolor brush and I don't use watercolors that often. Let's move on to some other tools that I'm very excited to show you. So I want to show you this. This is a regular palette knife, nothing extra about it. It's very used, as you can see. It is my handiest sort of palette knife. I can do whatever I want with it. But there's a whole lot of other stuff that I use as far as palette knives goes, and I want to show you. So I use some other regular ones like this one, and then there is this shape. All of these are honestly, I just got them in my art shop. They're not really any fancy brand. They're not very expensive. This is my dad's tool that I found in his tool box. I love it. It just is such an exciting tool. I mean, it doesn't do anything great, if I'm being very honest, but I just love it so much. A similar tool is this. I don't know if this is called a spatula or maybe it's called a spatula when you cook and not like when you're painting. Oh, I love doing that. I love peeling paint off of these things. I do take care of these tools, but it sometimes is impossible to not get a mess on it, and it's okay. I mean, I'm okay to live with that. I'm okay to have some amount of paint on it. I do clean it out pretty often, but sometimes it really does not go away, and I am not one of those people who just keeps buying new supplies because this one looks a certain way. I actually really love, in fact, how worn and cool it looks. This is again a no-name brand. I found it in an art store. It apparently says number 30, if that's of any use to you, but again, really nice for spreading paint. See, very nice spread of paint if you want a knife-like spatula-like tool. Some very other exciting tools coming your way. Let me show that to you in a second. I love this tool. Again, super duper used. It's so calloused. It's so fun to take out these things, these paint pieces. Maybe that's why I leave them. Anyway, so this one, really nice. You get more coverage, you know. Really love it. Super love. Again, got this at my regular hardware store. Nothing fancy. I can't even remember how expensive it was. I'm pretty sure it was not expensive at all. But yeah, super love it. This also came in like 4 or 5 different sizes. I have like something that's wider and something that's even smaller. But this is the one that I go to most often. I'm not sure why, but I just love pulling paint with this. I also use it to kind of cover stuff. So for example, if I want it to only come till here, like if I want a straight line, then I use it almost like a ruler, right? See? So kind of use it as that too, but mostly I use it to pull paint in a straight surface like that. I really like it. It's one of my favorite tools. Another favorite is this. I don't know how it got to be like this. This is again something from my father's toolbox. Love it. It's just a different kind of mark, right? And I like how it shows up. I absolutely love this tool. This is my absolute favorite tool because this is one of my trademark sort of things that I do with a lot of my work. These grooves, and I just love how it shows up. Where did I find this? Just at a regular art store. You're just gonna have to look. Was not online, it was a physical store. For those of you who are in Bombay, if you're in Bombay, then I think I found this at Janta in Bandra, but if you're not, then just keep looking. I don't even know what this tool is called, but I just absolutely love it. This is another mark making tool that I absolutely love. It has all these grooves, so it makes these exact sort of marks, but with these space intervals. Very nice, especially when you're working on canvas. It gives you very different sort of marks. This very overused colorful thing, it's actually not colorful at all. When it comes, it's like a grayish sort of color, but it's very overused. It's a camel roller, so I'm thinking you can maybe get it online. I got it in a physical store, but I freaking love it so much. See? I like it so much, you guys. I love the marks that it makes. Oh, so good, so good. I like it so much. This is, I would say, probably my favorite tool of the lot. What a great roller. What a great roller. I hope I never lose this. I hope it never breaks. I hope it's always my best friend. It just comes up with these very organic textures and shapes, and it's different every single time. You see how it's different from here and here. I mean, it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. So I just love how organic it turns out, like just the look of it. Some of the other tools that I use are these sponges. I think a lot of people know about these. They're not new really. Again, very cool organic mark making tools. I love this sponge also. As you can see, they're very used. This is a lot of ink, I think. Very used. It gives you very cool organic shapes. Again, I use a lot of things, you guys. I use leaves, I use all kinds of really. I've used the back of a medicine box because I thought it was cool. So that's my thing. It's my jam. I love mark making, and I love seeing what the mark making does. So I feel like this is my absolute jam. So this is as far as my mark making tools go. I'm going to show you now some other art supplies and tools that I use very frequently. I know a lot of people use palettes, but I actually use these tear-off palettes. They are good for oil. They're also good for acrylic, but apparently also for watercolor paint. But I haven't really used watercolor on this. I actually don't know how it would be because it's very sort of smooth paper. It's almost like butter paper smooth, you know. And I actually really like these. This one's a fully used one, almost a fully used one. I actually really like preserving these paint pages. And I super appreciate using these because then I don't have to like clean up after this and go and wash a palette and scrub it. And I mean, I'm not that person. I don't know if there is a person who is that person who just after a whole ridiculously difficult painting sessions like, oh, now I'm gonna go and scrub things. So this is just easier, and I really like the remains of it. It feels like collage paper that I might use. I actually do know exactly what I'm going to use it for. I will tell you that in a bit, but I find them super useful. They come in different sizes, and it's also really great to carry around. Like, it's not very heavy, right? So you can carry it when you travel, and you can tear it and throw it. If you don't want to keep it like me, you can just tear it every time a page is done and throw it. Some of the other tools and supplies that I want to tell you about is this modeling paste. It's a Liquitex modeling paste that I use with paint. Sometimes I mix it into the paint, sometimes I use it just by itself. It's something that adds texture and sort of volume to the paint, and I really like that. I'll show you a painting here where I've used this, and you can see what it does to the paint. And then after I finish painting my acrylics, I use this Liquitex matte varnish. I use matte because I really don't like it to shine. That's one of the reasons why I don't paint with oils to begin with. And so I like this like matte varnish. It really does nothing. It just protects the painting, but you can barely even see like that there is a layer on it, but it's protective. Everybody says use a varnish, so I use a varnish, and this is the one that I use because I wanted to make as little difference as possible. One of the last things that I want to show you is this. This is a fixative that I use. It's the Pebeo fixative for pastels and crayons. I've used a lot of fixatives, to be honest, and I haven't been very happy with most of them. This is the one that comes closest to my being happy, but I'm still not like wowed by it. So if you guys know a not astoundingly expensive fixative that is also extremely great, please let me know. But this one's pretty good. It's not awful. No, let me not be mean. It's actually pretty good. The other thing that I use is This apron, I know you can't tell that it's an apron because my sister and I had this one day where we painted all over it. Can you see this little hand here? How cute is that? And then there's this little smiley face on it. I will show you what it looks like on me alongside here, but I love this apron. Whenever I can remember to protect myself while painting, this is the apron that I use. I really like it because I made it myself. It actually just was like a plain apron, plain white, and then I painted all over it with my sister one day, and it was super fun. The last thing that I want to show you is this easel that I use all the time to paint. It actually grows much taller and it can hold larger canvases. But this is the easel that I use 99% of the time, unless I'm, painting flat on the floor or on a table. This easel actually does also, it kind of becomes flat. Let me show it to you. So this easel has the ability to go completely flat like this, which means that should I want to paint on it flat, I can. It's unstable right now because I haven't fixed it, but if I did fix it, it would become a completely flat sort of surface for me to work on, which I absolutely love because obviously there's a lot of flexibility with this. And with that, we've reached the end of the list of my favorites. Thank you so much for sticking around so far. If you have, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave your comments. I really want to hear from you. Tell me what your favorite art supplies are. You can always share this information. I find it super useful when I discover new tools or new supplies. It's always amazing. So please share it below and I will see you in another video. Bye.